Power podcast. We're your hosts, Aline Keller
and Shannon Polson.
I'm a precision nutrition certified coach.
And I'm a NASM certified personal trainer for over 13 years. We support women 30 years old and over to pursue health through realistic nutrition and fitness strategies. Our main passion is to help you find that smile when you look in the mirror, find freedom when you eat, and joy when moving your body.
Make sure to subscribe for your weekly dose of doable health tips, practical advice, and so much more. It's the health education you wish you'd had. So today we are starting a brand new fitness series all on training systems. So this is a 3-part series. You're listening to part 1. And today we're talking about a few training systems. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Shannon's going to take it away and let's hear it.
All right. So as we know, resistance training programs are popular due to their good quote unquote gym science structures, which is mostly brought on by solid marketing and advertising tactics. Although marketing companies are good at what they do and sell us on endless exercise products that guarantee us results and a lifetime of happiness, resistance training has, in fact, been proven time and time again that its benefits are endless and that science really does back it up. Resistance training increases stabilization, your strength and power, flexibility, neuromuscular efficiency, and muscle growth. Resistance training is the key to achieving optimal gains and performance in your daily life. Marketing does not need to sell us on the benefits of training and how to move our bodies. So there are numerous training systems that you can use to structure your exercise programs that will give you a variety of different effects. I'll start out today with the 4 less intense training systems. Then as the series moves forward, I'll progress through to the most intense training systems. The 4 that we'll cover today is the single set, multiple set, pyramid, and supersets. So we'll start out with our single set training system. So with a single set training system, you want to perform a minimum of 2 times per week to promote sufficient development and maintenance of muscle mass. You'll focus on 15 to 20 reps in this particular system. And the resistance or load should be light to medium, which is where you'll feel fatigue towards the end of your single set, but not overcompensating to try and finish. Single set systems are very beneficial for beginner level and individuals that are 65 and older and teens. So a single set is exactly how it sounds. You'll perform 1 set of each exercise, 15 to 20 reps per exercise, utilizing a light to medium weight. The benefit of a single set system is that it debunks the popular myth that single sets are not beneficial due to the lack of stimuli. However, it's been proven that this notion is incorrect. Beginner level individuals benefit from the system because it allows proper adaptive responses of the connective tissue and nervous system. So if you listen to our different phases of training, that kind of leads into that single set system. So phase 1, which is your stabilization phase, can use a single set. Single sets also welcome a safe environment where there's a decrease in overload and injury, and it's also less discouraging than more rigorous training systems. So sometimes if you know you're going into your workout and you are very mindful of what you're going to do, you know that you're only going to complete 1 set of each exercise, you're more aware and you're more likely to finish that particular workout. So next is a multiple set. You want to perform a minimum of 2 times per week. But now, as it says, it's multiple sets. So you're increasing your number of sets that you're doing. So now you're increasing the volume or the intensity in your training system. So with increased volume comes an increased risk of overtraining and injury. So in this particular system of multi-sets, training each day is not advised, especially for beginners or individuals just moving into phase 2 muscle endurance. It is a beneficial idea to mix up your workouts during the week, which can include adding cardio, endurance training, or other systems of training to again avoid overtraining or injury or even burnout and boredom. Multiple sets can include 2 sets, which is common in that phase 2 that I just chatted about, or can include up to 6 sets, which is common in phase 4, your max strength. Your load should be chosen to fit your needs and goals. Since you're performing multiple sets, a weight that brings fatigue yet keeps you safe is much appropriate. So now with a multi-set or a multiple set, you're performing anywhere from 2 to 6 sets of your exercise selection. Your load should fit your needs and your goals, making sure that you're not overcompensating, yet it's bringing you fatigue and safety. Now, the benefits of a multiple set system is that it's appropriate for both novice and advanced individuals. It's been proven to show superior training as you become more advanced. It's also been shown that with increased volume or increased intensity, you enhance your body composition and your motor skills, which makes sense. If you're moving from a single set to a multiple set, you're increasing your challenge level and your intensity. Therefore, you're going to enhance your body composition and then your overall skills. After a multiple set is a pyramid. This is one that I personally haven't dabbled a lot into, but I really, really love the idea behind it. The pyramid system is fun to play around with as you become more advanced and stabilized in your body and training techniques. This system is both progressive and regressive, as this approach either increases weight with each set or decreases weight with each set. So with a light to heavy system, you'll perform 10 to 12 reps with a light load, then increase the load for each following set until you're only able to perform 1 to 2 reps. And this typically takes about 4 to 6 sets to complete the system. Now, the heavy to light system works in the opposite direction, in which you'll begin with a heavy load, and of course, after a sufficient warm-up for 1 to 2 reps, then decrease the load as you increase your reps to 10 to 12. Again, completed within 4 to 6 sets. So a pyramid, you can either start light and then increase, or start heavy and then decrease. But during your light loads, you want to go anywhere from 10 to 12 reps. When you're moving into those heavy loads, you should be ending with 1 to 2 reps. And again, all of this can take anywhere from 4 to 6 sets. So you have time to increase or decrease those loads. The benefit to the system is adding experience and demand to your body and current exercise routine. You can complete this style of training a minimum of 2 times a week, but then of course, listening to your body so you avoid overtraining and injury. This is not a system you'll want to complete each day of your training. Again, remembering to add variety to your week and your routine. This is also a system that you don't want to start out with. You want to make sure that you start with that phase 1 stabilization, that single set system, and then move into that phase 2 muscle endurance, where maybe now you're focusing in on those multiple sets. So you're You're gathering that variable, that type of intensity before you move into a pyramid system. And then supersets. The superset system uses 2 exercises performed in rapid succession of one another. And there are multiple variations of the superset system. So back when I did the different phases of training, we actually only went over one superset system. But today we'll dig in a little bit deeper here. So the first variation includes performing 2 exercises for the same muscle group back to back. So for an example, you might perform a bench press immediately followed by push-ups to fatigue the chest. Completing 2 exercises in this manner will improve muscular endurance and hypertrophy, so muscle mass or muscle gain, because the volume of the work performed is relatively high. This style of supersets can use 2 or 3 or even more exercises for the target muscle group. So when we talked about the phases of training, when I chatted about the superset, we talked about 2 exercises back to back. But in reality, you can have 2, 3, even 4 exercises that are working on targeting that same muscle group. The greater the number of exercises used, the greater the degree of fatigue you'll experience and a greater demand you'll have on your muscular endurance. The second variation consists of performing 2 exercises back to back that involve antagonist muscle groups, so opposite. An example would be like a chest and then a back exercise, or a quad and then a hamstring exercise. Performing supersets in this manner will allow a significant load to be placed on the target muscle during each set. This is possible because while the agonist is working, the antagonist is recovering, and then vice versa. So supersets typically involve sets of 8 to 12 repetitions with no rest between sets or exercises. Back when I chatted about the different phases of training, in the superset category, I used where you completed 8 repetitions. Here you can do 8 to 12. The superset system is very popular among bodybuilders, but is very beneficial for muscular hypertrophy and then muscular endurance. So muscular hypertrophy, muscle growth, and then muscular endurance. Just think of endurance. Your muscles are able to endure more intensity. So the first 4 training systems are beneficial and easier to adapt to if you're a beginner or an intermediate level exerciser. Advanced individuals, of course, benefit from these systems as well because of all these techniques will improve your stabilization and muscular endurance. Now, while it doesn't necessarily say in my research, my personal opinion is the list that I'm telling you about, all these training systems, I'm listing them from least intense to the most intense. So starting from this first episode all the way to episode number 3 in this mini series, start from the top and then work your way down. You don't want to start on episode number 3 and then work your way into a drop set, let's say, which we'll go over next episode. So really making sure that you are doing these different training systems in adequate order that accommodate your level and your safety, your goals, and your needs. These variations will add new demands to both your mental and your physical health, which will assist in your productivity, your alertness, and then daily movement efficiency. And then as always, just making sure to keep your safety in mind, and then do please progress through these various training systems um, at your level. You want to have proper adaptation to your body. So in the next episode, episode number 2 in this mini part series here, we'll cover the drop set, circuit training, and heart action training systems.
I love this. And I really think that if you're tuning into the podcast and you haven't listened to the previous series, you really need to go back there and listen to that first, because what we're working on now is just we're digging a little deeper into what we talked about before. And I would have one question that I think a lot of people might have is, I will, I won't even say that I'm guessing because I know this about you and about us. You don't recommend that people just go to the gym and randomly start using equipment and just, oh, this looks fun, so this is what I'm going to do today, right? Like, you need a structure, you need a plan. But how can, if somebody is kind of, for some reason or another, they kind of want to design their own thing, or they are just starting out, they don't know what to do, how can this support them? Is this something that people should only look at inside a program that's already designed, or can they kind of start out doing something with one of these techniques as a starting point?
Sure. Well, it definitely ties into what you previously mentioned. If you haven't listened to the mini series of the different phases of training, you're really going to want to listen to those episodes before you listen to these episodes. Because going through the different phases of training, you'll kind of hear some of this terminology. Phase 1, stabilization, you're probably working in the single set and the multiple set system. When you move into phase 2, you're going to maybe still be in that multiple set, digging into supersets, that type of thing. Phase 3, and so on and so forth. So the terminology used in the different phases will be some of the same terminology used here, but again, digging deeper. So to kind of answer your question, you want to make sure that you start out in the phases in order, and then play around with these training systems and these variables. I think you'll be able to notice that, like, when you're in phase 1 stabilization, you're probably not going to be doing a drop set, which is where you're working on some PRs, your personal records. You're working on trying to exercise to failure or lifting to failure. That's not our goal in phase 1. But in, phase 4, max strength, a drop set would be more appropriate because you're trying to max out your PR in 1 to 5 reps. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, and it really is about like figuring out where you are. And I think that all of this ties back to, if you can't work for a person with a personal trainer for one reason or another, I've known a lot of people, yourself included, that they will at least sit down with you to give you a starting point. So
Oh,
if you can't consistently work with someone, and you know what, contact Shannon, all right? And it's to get help with, like, okay, what's your goal? What do you want to do? Where are you at? And help you make a plan for you to, if you don't want to work with someone weekly or monthly or whatever it is, like, for you to execute for a while and then go back to this person and say, okay, I feel like I've hit a wall. Where do I progress from here? And kind of have somebody help with you with that, because this just, from knowing trainers and from personal experience, it is very difficult to create programs for yourself. Most of the trainers I know have trainers because creating your own program, it's not like a walk in the park, right? It takes time and effort and intention. And I know trainers like yourself that, you make your own program. And I know trainers that they just decide not to. They do not want the mental load of making their own program. So for all you listeners, if you already have a program, this is something to look at. If you don't have a program and you want help with building one, contact a trainer, and Shannon is a great one to do this, to help you like figure out how to fit these things in, how you should work, because it all depends on your goals. Just like the other series, you don't necessarily have to do every single thing, right? It just
Right.
depends on where you
Oh,
are and what your goal
yes.
is.
Yeah, that's actually a good note. All these training systems, you don't have to touch base on everyone. I touch base on like 3 to 4 of them throughout my year of
Mhm.
training. And this is a lot of information. This is so much
Yes.
information. If you were to listen all the different phases and then now into the training systems, I would not be bothered that you would be so confused. Like, I have no idea what you just said, and I still have no idea where to start.
Uh-huh.
Um, Gyms, especially the gym that I managed in Glenwood, Minnesota, was if you came in and you had no idea where to start, we always did a free consultation. And that was where we just sat down with you for a couple of minutes. Are there any injuries that we should be aware of? And then what are your goals? Just the basic stuff. What do you need from us? And then we'd go around and just get you welcomed into the atmosphere and
Yes.
the equipment that would fit you and your goals and your needs. And then, you know what? Touch base with me in a couple of weeks, couple of months, and then let's progress. I mean, trainers are there to help you whether you're paying us or not for personal
Yes.
training services. We 100% want to help you. And if you are nervous or are discouraged to go into a gym, call the gym, talk to a trainer, and just say, here's what I need. Can we just meet privately?
Yep.
I'm I'm discouraged to walk into a gym because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of dynamics. Or yes, just contact me because I'm all about like that individualization. We can hop on a call virtually, that type of thing. So you're in the comfort of your own home. But definitely reach out to someone that's credible. Just Googling. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just not like,
Don't do that.
don't do that. Yep.
Don't do that. All right. Well, this is the beginning of a series, and we will see you soon.